The year was 1888. The turbulent waters of the Atlantic were swallowing yet another ship. The Mystic Siren, a commercial sailing vessel, had strayed from its course, weeks out from New York. No one from its crew was ever heard from again. It was presumed to be one of thousands of ships buried in the ocean's endless graveyard. Until 137 years later, something utterly unexpected happened. This year, a deep-sea exploration team conducting a routine shipwreck survey off the coast of Norway stumbled upon a massive shipwreck not charted before. Depth sensors indicated the ship was surprisingly well preserved. This wasn't just a wreck. It was a time capsule, and this discovery landed on my desk. This situation raised a huge question mark in my mind. Arthur was an experienced captain. He would never be caught unprepared. An accident? A storm? All these seemed plausible, but a single detail found in the ocean's depths overshadowed all those possibilities. Because that one detail was the first proof that something entirely different, something unnatural, lay behind this disappearance. The ship's name became clear: Mystic Siren. When I looked into its history, I encountered a startling detail. The ship was at the center of the era's largest diamond smuggling case during its sinking in 1888. A priceless, giant diamond called the Ocean's Eye, believed to be on board, was never recovered. The research team descended to the wreck. As they moved towards the captain's quarters, they found it incredibly preserved despite years of water and pressure. The ship's wooden panels looked as if they were built yesterday. As they slowly navigated the corridors, old fabric scraps waving in the seawater, remnants of furniture, every detail whispered something from those days. But the real discovery came from the ship's safe. Inside were valuable jewels, gold coins, diamonds and rubies worth millions. However, the Ocean's Eye was gone. The safe itself, strangely, didn't look forced open, but there was a void, a large void. Among the items salvaged from the shipwreck was a locked chest belonging to Captain Arthur. The chest required a special key, but the team had to break the lock. What emerged from inside whispered the first clues of murder: the captain's worn logbook and an old bronze compass with a dried, dark brown bloodstain on it. The logbook, though worn and difficult to read on its final pages, whispered of murder and betrayal. The captain's log detailed his final days with incredible precision. The tension on board, the arguments among the crew, the rising suspicions after the diamonds theft. And then that night, the captain, with a trembling hand, accused someone on the last pages of the log. Odysseus. He sold me out. He took the diamond. And now he's coming to kill me. Then a scratch and a bloodstain. The logbook ended there. The bloodstain on the compass had defied the years. The DNA tests shocked me. The blood did not belong to Captain Arthur Davies. It belonged to someone else. Despite exposure to seawater, analyses confirmed the blood was male and did not match any known crew member's DNA from that period. This was definitive proof that a murder had occurred on board. But who was Odysseus, and why had the captain accused him? I began to comb through the Mystic Siren's crew list from 1888. There was no one named Odysseus. Was it an alias or a code name? As I expanded my investigation, the possibility of a stowaway on board emerged. Someone not in the official records, known only to the captor. A ghost who had secretly boarded the ship, whose sole purpose was to acquire the diamond. When I looked into the underworld connections of that period, I found the nickname Odysseus was frequently used, especially within diamond smuggling networks. This name always pointed to a figure who vanished without a trace, moving in the shadows. an assassin. As I researched old crime reports and newspaper clippings, I found mentions of other murders and disappearances attributed to Odysseus, without a trace. And Captain Davies could only have had one reason to take him on board: to protect the diamond. Perhaps Odysseus wasn't there to steal the diamond, but to protect it, though with his own dark agenda. The last owner of the Ocean's Eye was Elias Vance, London's wealthiest jewel merchant. Records showed the diamond was sold just before being loaded onto the ship. But a doubt gnawed at me. What if the sale never happened? What if the diamond was entrusted to the captain to be secretly transported to a safe place? When Vance announced the diamond's theft, he received a hefty insurance payout. This raised the possibility of fraud. I found descendants of Arthur Davies. They told me rumors of a strange compass the family possessed years ago, passed down through generations. This compass supposedly contained some kind of code or cipher. It was Captain Davies's compass. The bloodstain on it and a cipher. The diamond wasn't in the ship's safe. The captain had hidden it. Perhaps he was trying to protect the diamond, not from theft, but from Elias Vance's fraud scheme. The entries in the logbook and the faint, almost invisible markings on the compass pointed to a cipher, a kind of navigation code. It became clear that the Ocean's Eye was hidden at a specific point on the ship and could be found with this compass. The captain, even facing death, had thought of the diamond's safety. When I finally cracked the cipher, it led to a small, waterproof compartment hidden inside an old wine barrel in the ship's bilge. This was a hiding spot only the captain would know. We returned to the Mystic Siren with the team. The cipher from the captain's compass led us to a small, waterproof compartment hidden inside an old wine barrel in the ship's bilge. There, after more than 100 years in the ocean's depths, lay the Ocean's Eye inside a rusted valise. The diamond, despite the immense pressure of the water and the ravages of time, still gleamed brilliantly. Beside it, there was a small, worn piece of paper with just 2 words written on it: "Justice awaits." Arthur Davies wasn't just the victim of a murder. He was also a hero who exposed fraud. The identity of Odysseus? Perhaps we'll never definitively know. But this event revealed the true story behind the captain's last whispers in his logbook, Elias Vance's insurance fraud, and the Ocean's Eye. What truly happened on the Mystic Siren's final voyage is no longer hidden in the ocean's whispers, but in the truth. Arthur Davies' legacy proved that justice can surface even from the deepest depths. See you in the next mystery.